Thank you so much for joining. Let's start today's practice in a comfortable seated position of your choice. You're always welcome to bring a pillow or even a block up under your hips. You can bring your legs into a crisscross applesauce. You can let them rest out long. You can rest your back up against a wall or a piece of furniture, or maybe even just let your arms rest on your bent knees. Wherever you're finding this comfortable seated position, maybe you allow your eyes to close or you soften your gaze. Allow your hands to begin to rest, maybe on your knees or your lap. Let your shoulders start to relax. And as we breathe here, we'll remember that this is for you. And you have complete control. As I try to guide you, I'll give you different choices. Give yourself permission to choose any of them or modify differently. At some points, maybe all the choices might feel overwhelming, hard to decide. Self-compassion is listening to your inner wisdom and awareness. You don't have to do what I'm doing or saying. And I hope you won't feel rigid in your choices. Maybe try to listen, to go within your body, to move intuitively through our practice tonight, to the cues and how your body wants to move. Steadiness with ease while holding poses. Steadiness with ease while transitioning between the poses. Use this time to build your awareness practice. Maybe guide yourself to your edge and breathe there with kindness towards yourself. Breathe to calm the nervous system. See if you can welcome everything. The physical, the breath, the frustration, maybe even the joy. Whatever comes up, acknowledge it, accept it. Because this is the first step in self-compassion and kindness towards ourselves. Can you answer the question, what does kindness and self-compassion look like to me today? Then begin to focus on our breathing, taking the deepest, longest inhale of our day so far. Once we reach the top, go ahead and pause there, holding the air in for as long as feels good in your body tonight. And then as you exhale out, slow and steady, emptying all the air out before continuing this cycle. Inhale, long, steady, pause, and then exhale. This is our deep listening breath. This breath gives us a moment of stillness. With each cycle of breath. There is a difference in what we do and how we exist. Our Western world puts value on doing more. Busyness is seen as a sign of success. The practice of meditation is sitting in stillness, resting in non-doing, and simply being. We get to know ourselves better in the stillness. Doing sometimes is a distraction to our spirit, pulling us away from that which our spirit wants to say to us. Let us find the beauty in not doing anything at all. Let us rest in the magic of being and listening to our own spirit speak. So as we take just a few more of those deep listening breaths, sitting in our stillness, see if you can let go of the need to do anything and rest in simply being. Simply exist, breath to breath, moment to moment. Beautiful breathing today. Well, we're going to release that deep listening breath, finding our natural flow once again, but knowing that we can come back to that deep listening breath throughout our practice. There's a great mental focus as we mindfully move. We'll take this last moment of our grounding meditation to offer ourselves a little bit of gratitude for anything in our day or our week that we feel a little bit grateful to ourselves for. And then as you're ready, begin to wiggle fingers and toes. We'll flutter the eyes open. And let's add some gentle movement into our practice tonight. We'll start by bringing the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide to the side in a butterfly. Your feet can be as close to your hips or as far as that feels good to you. And you're always welcome to bring pillows, blocks, or blankets under the knees, as this is our first stretch of the day. And maybe it might feel a little intense in this moment. Sitting up tall through the spine, lift from the top of the head, and then start to allow the arms to float up and overhead. Really stretch them up here. And then with your next exhale, bring them down towards your feet and lean forward just a little bit as you give yourself just a nice little massage through the arches of your feet. Just a couple of rubs and pokes and prods after your long, busy day. Great job. And then begin to walk your hands back towards your hips as you straighten the spine back up. We're going to take the arms out wide to a T, lengthening our spine. And as we exhale, we're going to hinge back forward, bringing the hands to meet in front of our heart, but with the arms extended. As we inhale, open back up, straighten the spine. Exhale, hinge, and bring the hands together. Really engage the core here, starting to warm everything up. Inhale, open. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, open. Last time, exhale, hinge. We're going to hold it for 3, 2, and on the 1, come back to a straight spine, hands at a prayer at heart center. Great job. Go ahead and allow your any props to move out of your way. We're going to bring ourselves into a frog seat. So we're going to bring the soles of our feet to the floor and the knees out wide, opening up through our inner hips. You can bring your hands and elbows to rest on your knees, or you can bring them inside the legs if you'd like. You can even bring them behind you to support you, pressing up through the spine here as we begin to open up through those inner hips and glutes. We're going to be doing a lot of work in this area today, so we just want to give it some adequate time to start to open up. And then let's start to take our knees over to one side, and then windshield wiper them over to the other side. Go left to right just a couple of times, rolling through the hips as you do. All right, go ahead and come back through your frog seat. And then let's go ahead and send our right leg out long and allow the left foot to tuck on the inner right thigh, bending the knee out to the side. We'll then drop the hand either on the leg, inside the leg, outside the leg, or onto a prop. You could also tuck the thumb if you'd like. And start to bring your left hand to your left hip as you open up, twisting through the torso, letting that left shoulder open towards the ceiling. Your gaze can either come up, go out straight ahead of you, or look down towards your hand on the floor. Now maybe start to extend that top hand up towards the ceiling, feeling a stretch through the side body. Exhale, maybe rainbow arc it along the left ear. Great job. Inhale and come back through a straight spine. We'll then send the left leg out long and bring the right foot in. Tuck it in the inner thigh. And we'll set up for that whole sequence on the other side. Left hand down, finding the position of your choice. As we start to spiral our right shoulder towards the ceiling, our right hand comes to our right hip. And then maybe we start to extend the right hand towards the ceiling. Or rainbow arc it along the right ear. Great job. Inhale to come through with a straight spine. And then from that, let's come into a tabletop pose. Coming onto all fours, hands and knees. And if you like to add a little cushioning under your knees, now would be a great time to do that by either rolling up your mat or bringing a blanket or another prop under your knees. We'll take just a couple of cat-cows here, moving through the spine, noticing how everything's feeling. Inhaling as you open through the heart space, lifting the chin and gaze. Exhaling to round through the spine, chin to chest. Take it at your own breath. Maybe even finding that deep listening breath, if you'd like. All right, go ahead and pause with your tabletop and then shift your weight back just a little, bringing your left foot and bring it forward into a lizard lunge. So we want the foot outside of both hands, the toes pointing over towards the left just a little bit. And then as you're ready, start to sink your hips down towards the floor a little or a lot. Your right toes can be tucked or untucked, depending on what feels good for you. You can have your hands on the floor, or you could bring some props underneath of them. You can also come down onto your elbows if that feels good for you. As we're starting to really warm up this inner hip, you're also welcome to maybe roll onto the outer edges of that foot, letting the knee fall out to the side. Maybe your focus is that deep listening breath here. And you find yourself at your edge while holding the pose, steadiness with ease. And simply do nothing for a breath. Beautiful job. If you came down to elbows, go ahead and come back up onto your hands. We'll begin to shift our hips back, straightening through that front leg, pointing the toes away from us as we let our torso come down like a downward dog. Pressing into the hands, lengthening through the arms, the head dips between the arms. Great job. Go ahead and find your way into your tabletop. Take any movement on your way there that you'd like. And then we're going to set up for the other side. So shifting our weight back, we will bring the opposite foot forward, setting up for our lizard lunge. Toes point out to the side, knee starts to fall in that direction, either staying on the sole of the foot or rolling to the outer edge. Back toes can be tucked or untucked. You can stay high on the hands or drop down to the elbows on the floor or on a prop. You're doing a beautiful job here. Take just a few more breaths on this side, so allow yourself to find that moment of stillness. Knowing you have nothing else to do and nowhere else to be, except right here, right now. Breathing with steadiness and ease. Our last breath here. Our inhale shifts our hips back, straightens through that extended front leg. Downward dog in the upper body. Inhale to come through and back to your tabletop. Great job. From here, we'll find our way up into a standing mountain pose. Getting there in our own time and in our own way. We'll come into our mountain pose, and as we inhale, we'll start to let the arms circle up and overhead, reaching up really high. And then let's lift one heel and then the other. Maybe lifting both heels. Little balance challenge here. Exhale, all the heels come down, and then as we exhale, rain it down into your forward fold. Hands reaching towards the floor, your legs, or a prop of your choice. Top of the head sinking down towards the floor. Knees are gently bent here. Your next exhale, see if you can release and soften into it just a little bit more. And then press into your hands to halfway lift. Find your figure 7. Gaze stays down, core is engaged here. Beautiful job. Exhale, hinge into your forward fold. Drop the hips, Start to curl and round all the way up to standing. Circling arms, reaching them up, really up, nice and tall. And then with our next exhale, bring hands to a prayer as you start to sink into a chair pose. Bending in the knees, bending in the hips, keeping that spine straight. Great job. Then take your left hand to your inner knee or outer knee as you start to twist it towards that side. Inhale your chair twist back through center. Feel free to come back out or keep a hold in it. And then as you're ready, sink back in. We'll twist it to the opposite direction. Exhale to come back through center. And then hinge into your forward fold to release. And from here, we'll take a rag doll, grabbing opposite elbows and swaying a little from side to side. Maybe shaking the head a little yes or no, or even sliding the jaw from side to side. Great job. Go ahead and pause there. Release the hands to their previous location. Bend the knees, sink the hips, slow roll, coming up to your standing mountain. Hands rest by your sides. Beautiful job here. Let's go ahead and start to take a swimmer stretch. So we're going to start to use our hands, palms face down, as we swim them forward and back, alternating which one is going. Noticing how that feels. Find a softness in your ankles and your knees and in your hips. Don't be rigid. All right, and then let's reverse that. Palms up now as you circle the arms back. Great job. Go ahead and pause. And then let's inhale, circle the arms out wide to a T. We're then going to bring our right arm under our left arm as we start to bring our hands up towards our shoulders for an eagle arms. You're welcome to stay here or start to bring the backs or fronts of hands together. Or always welcome to have a strap involved. We're working to keep our spine straight here, wherever our eagle arms are. Gentle bend in the knees. Finding that breath of stillness as we feel the opening through our shoulder blades. Exhale to release, arms to a T. Exhale, opposite direction. Hug the arms or bring them into your eagle arm variation of choice. You're doing a beautiful job. Release and inhale. Arms come all the way up, tall mountain. Exhale, drop that right arm. Let yourself feel the flow of blood rushing to those fingertips as you take it into a side bend over to the right fingertips reaching down, the left fingertips reaching up. Beautiful job. Inhale, come back through both arms overhead. Exhale, drop that left arm. Feel the blood rushing down to those fingertips. Inhale, come back through center. As we exhale, we're going to twist through the hips, opening one hand in front, one hand behind. Beautiful job. Come back through center. Take it into a back bend. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist to the opposite direction, arms opening wide. Inhale to bring it back through center. Exhale to cactus the arms. Beautiful job. With our next exhale, go ahead and drop your hands by your side, giving yourself a nice relaxation from all that intensity through the shoulders. All right, we're gonna work a little bit on our hips and glutes a little bit more. And I spoke at the beginning about needing a wall or possibly something that you could have your foot on, like a piece of furniture or maybe some blocks. And that's what we're gonna come to. We're gonna play with a balance called Birds of Paradise today. So we'll start by facing whatever prop we're gonna use. And we're gonna shift our weight over into the left foot as we begin to bend the right knee and start to hug it in towards our chest or up towards hip height. Now you're always welcome to have one of your hands on a wall for support here as well, or a prop. All righty, with our next exhale, go ahead and extend that foot so it's resting on a wall. You can have a bend in the knee, or you can start to work it straight. Notice how that feels through the body. Great job. Hug it back in towards your knee or towards your hips and then release. All right, so now we're going to take the same side, but we're going to open it up towards the side. So we're standing with the wall or the prop on the same side as that hip. All right, so now we're going to shift our weight to that other leg. Begin to lift the foot out to the side, again, on the wall or on your prop of your choice. Extending it out just a little bit. Keeping the spine as straight as you can, breathing with ease as you notice the difference. Support your leg with your hand if you'd like, or your strap. One more breath. Bring it down. All right, we're gonna face our prop again, same leg now. We're gonna face the prop, and then we're gonna turn just slightly towards the leg we're using. At about a 25-degree angle. We're gonna take our leg, we're gonna bring it up towards the wall. So we're twisting now towards the leg that's extended against the prop. And you can keep your hand on your hip, or you can send it out as a counterbalance. Beautiful Birds of Paradise here. Alrighty, with our next exhale, let's go ahead and release, come down. Give yourself any movement your body needs, and let's try that on the other side. All right, so facing our prop, opposite leg, shift your weight. Oh, first we're gonna hug it in towards the chest. Getting that compression at the hip. When you're feeling ready, maybe sending it out to the prop. Starting to feel that stretch through the back of the leg. Kind of get feeling for this balance challenge. You're doing great. All right, exhale to have that leg come down. Now turn with the hip to the prop. So that way you can take it out to the side this time. Shifting your weight when you're ready, lifting, almost like you're karate kicking it out to the side. Go ahead and let it rest on the wall or the prop. Adjust as you need to make it feel good. You're doing great. How does that feel in that hip and that glute and that inner groin area? Noticing all those parts of your body, maybe even noticing your spine here. Trying to keep it straight, your crown lifted. All right, bring it down. Turn back towards the prop. And then turn about 25 degrees towards the direction of the leg you're using. When you're ready, lift it up. Now you're in that twisted torso position, Birds of Paradise. Your opposite hand on your hip, or extended for the twist and counterbalance. Great job, as gracefully as you can, come out of that birds of paradise. Take any movement you need. When you're ready, come back into your mountain pose. Take a big breath in. With a sigh, maybe pat yourself on the back. That was a great job with a challenging sequence. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, hinge and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step the right foot back for high lunge. And then as you're ready, inhale, both arms come to a prayer. Stay at your hips or maybe lift up in the air. We're taking that left hip, we're pulling it back so that both hips are pulling, pointing straight in front of us. We have a bend in both knees, our thighs are feeling strong. Great job. With your next exhale, allow your hands to circle down, either to frame the front foot on the floor or on a prop. And then as you start to adjust, pull your weight into that front foot and start to lift the left foot off the mat, a little or a lot, coming into a grounded warrior three. Have a generous bend in your standing legs. You're always welcome to play with your balance by maybe lifting your hands to a prayer at heart center. Keeping your gaze on a spot that's not moving on the floor will really help with your balance. Beautiful job. Now we're going to take our right hand and move it to directly under our face. And then start to open up your hips as you peel your right hand across your torso, lifting it into a half moon pose. Flex through the lifted right leg and ankle. Great job. Drop the right hand, grounded warrior three. Exhale to drop the back foot. Inhale, crescent lunge. Straighten both legs. Exhale, hinge and forward fold over that front leg. Great pyramid pose. Inhale to step the back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, tall mountain, reach it up tall and high. Exhale, drop the right hand, lean to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, drop the left hand, lean to the left. Inhale through center. We're going to take that twist like we did at the hips and the hands, but this time lift the right knee as you twist towards the right. You can keep hands out wide or you can bring one hand to your knee for added support. Great job. Inhale back through center, dropping the feet. Twist and lift the left knee. Inhale to come back through center. Exhale to cactus the arms. Inhale, tall mountain, bring it down into a prayer. And then let's take it down into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're then going to step our left foot back, coming into our high lunge on the opposite side. And as you're ready, inhaling to circle arms into your crescent lunge of choice. Hands at hips, hands at heart, hands in the air. Finding that moment of stillness, that steadiness with ease as you hold and as you transition. One last breath here in your crescent lunge of choice. Exhale to circle hands down to frame the front foot for grounded warrior three as you lift the back toes a little or a lot. Lengthening through the spine, keeping a bend in the standing leg. Shift the right hand directly under the face. Begin to open the left heel as you left hip, left heel, heel the left hand towards the ceiling. Half moon pose. Exhale to release. Grounded warrior three. Exhale, crescent lunge, inhale. Straighten both legs. Hinge in your pyramid pose over that front leg. Inhale to halfway lift, step the back foot in, forward fold. Inhale, roll it up to mountain pose. Let's open our feet wide and to the side. We'll go a little bit wider than hip distance with the toes out and the heels in. And with an inhale, let's raise the arms up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows, goddess squat. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, we're going to bend through the right knee. Your hands can come to the knee or maybe down to a prop as you take it into as deep of a one-legged squat as you'd like. Inhale through your 5-pointed star. Exhale, one-legged squat to the other side. Take this a few times on your own, left to right, going as deep or as shallow as you feel like you'd like in your body. You could even play around, going deep and shallow at various moments. Making sure to balance out between the sides. Make sure not to be going fast here. We want to be going slow, mindful of the movements, mindful of how this feels in the different parts of our body that we've been really working into today. Go ahead and balance out both sides. Come back to your 5-pointed star, pausing there. Take the heels behind the toes. This should widen the legs if you take the heels behind the toes. And then with our next exhale, we're going to take our arms to a T, begin to hinge at the hips as we forward fold. And bring your arms down to a prop. Rest the hands on the floor, your legs. And just take a moment of stillness here. Knees can be bent or legs can be straight. Notice how that feels getting deep into those hamstrings. You're welcome to find ways to go a little deeper if that feels like it would be lovely in your practice or not. Last breath here, hands come back under your head in a prop, halfway lift. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, heels come back in. Goddess squat. Oh, just a little extra torture to end the night. Go ahead and drop the hands to the inner thighs and then drop one shoulder as you twist and look over the other. Come back through center and take it to the other side. Go left to right, twisting through the spine. One more time on each side. Inhale, 5-pointed star for release. Go ahead and step it back up for your mountain pose. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, rain it down, forward fold. Start to lift one heel and then the other, coming into a toe stand. And as you exhale, begin to bend the knees and sink the hips towards the heels. Coming into a toe stand. You can have your hands on a prop or on the floor. And then go ahead and come down onto your belly. So getting there, whatever feels good to you. We're gonna come into a Sphinx pose. We're gonna let the elbows come down to the ground. The arms are parallel as we pull our gaze forward. And then with an exhale, take your chin down towards your chest, opening up through the back of the neck. You can take the chin left to right here, really finding a little bit of movement through the back of the neck. And then come through center and inhale, lift the chin high. Maybe you start to find a few rolls and half circles from left to right. Or maybe you start to take full circles through the neck. Making sure after a few cycles in one direction, you start to go in the other direction if you're choosing full circles. Beautiful job. Find some stillness through the neck. We're gonna go ahead and shift our weight onto the left hip and then begin to bend that right knee. Start to bring it into a 90-ish degree bend with a 90-ish degree bend at the ankle and a half frog pose. Now you are always welcome to bring a pillow or a block or something under the opposite side of your body just to create a little more space. If that is feeling intense on that inner hip at all. And maybe it feels a little good to breathe against your edge. Now you can stay high in that Sphinx pose, or you can also make a pillow out of your arms and come on to your left ear as well. Go ahead and extend the right leg back long, shifting your weight to the left hip, right hip. And then let's take our half frog on the left side. Maybe you come back into that deep listening breath, allowing yourself moments of stillness with each cycle of breath. We'll exhale, extending that left leg long, and then let's roll over onto our backs. And well, if you have a strap and like using it, go ahead and grab that, bringing that with you for these last couple of stretches. We'll either come into a constructive rest with our soles of our feet planted about hip distance apart and the knees bent to the ceiling. Or you can also send your legs long if that feels good for your body and their practice. With our next inhale, go ahead and draw your right knee in towards your chest, getting that hip compression right here. Your next exhale, reach down towards your foot and let your right knee fall out to the right side, reclined half frog. Really getting into this hip today in lots of different ways. Now, if you're using that strap, you're welcome to go ahead and wrap it around the foot here if you'd like. And then as you inhale, send the foot up towards the ceiling, drawing the strap down towards your face as much as possible to really feel this through the back side of the leg. Taking it in the right arm,
Begin to allow the right leg to fall out to the right side. So we're doing that whole birds of paradise sequence once again, but this time from the reclined position, taking the element of balance out of it so that you can just breathe at your edge. You're doing a great job. Inhale to bring that foot back through center. We're gonna grab the strap or the leg with the opposite hand, take it center over the center line until you start to feel it through the hip, the IT band, or somewhere along that edge of the leg that feels good for you. Now you can stay with it up high, you can bring it down low, all the way towards the mat or the ground if that feels good for you. You're just finding where that stretch feels the best for you today and taking a few breaths there. Inhale to come back through center. Exhale, releasing right leg. We'll take that sequence on the left side. So inhale, knee comes to chest. Get that compression at that hip. Let the knee start to fall out to the side as you hook that foot with your hand or your strap, letting yourself find that half frog pose. And then when you're ready, maybe wrapping strap around the foot or sending the foot towards the ceiling and walking your hands up the leg or the strap, really getting into the back of that leg. You're welcome to have a bend in the knee or have it straight. Our next exhale opens it wide to the left. A little or a lot. You can have it just hovering off the ground. It could be at more like a 45-degree angle or anywhere in between. Just so you're getting some opening through that hip and groin. Inhale to bring it back through center, switch it to the opposite hand and start to feel your way over to the other side. Again, it might only be slightly and you're focusing more on the IT band. You might go a little bit deeper to start to stretch through the hip. It's really up to your body what feels the best. So take this moment to explore and find the birds of paradise that just resonates with you in this moment. And breathe with steadiness and ease and kindness. Inhale to bring it back through the center line. Exhale to release. Feet to a constructive rest. Widen them a little bit wider than hip distance. And then we'll revisit that windshield wiper, letting the knees fall left to right. Rolling through the hips. We'll find a little bit of stillness. And then let's bring both knees in towards the torso. You can wrap your strap or your hands around your knees, hugging them both in towards your chest. You can keep your head on the floor. You could lift your nose towards your knees. You can rock a little side to side or along the spine. Taking really any last movements, any last breaths here that feel really good to you in this moment. And then as you're ready, start to settle into that stillness, finding a final resting pose. You're always welcome to come into a constructive rest with the knees bent and touching in the center. Or maybe a corpse pose or any other variation of a resting pose that feels good to you and your body. Knowing that you can have pillows, blankets, blocks, socks, or even sweaters, maybe something to cover your eyes, blanket. The possibilities are really endless.
You can even just go lay on a comfortable recliner next to you in the room. Wherever you're at, start to come into this space, relaxation. Allow each breath to sink you a little deeper into your space. Really imagine all the tension starting to leave your body through the pores of your skin as you rest here with each breath. A little longer, a little smoother, more rhythmic. We'll start today's ending meditation, knowing that we have nowhere else to be, nothing else to do, to simply be and do nothing for these next few moments. But breathe, maybe listen. We'll begin to take a journey in our mind as we imagine ourselves sitting under a big, vibrant, in all its spring glory, beautiful tree. This tree is so beautiful, large and healthy. Maybe it's a tree you know well, or maybe it's only here in your imagination today. But when you really notice the details, when you stop and take a moment in stillness, the bark is absolutely gorgeous. The patterns and designs almost repeat themselves, but each line its own glorious journey on the tree's bark. Its trunk is so massive. It's had such a long, beautiful life. Maybe you can't even wrap your arms all the way around it. The roots you can't see that are hidden, they run deep and so wide that no amount of wind or rain would ever be able to sway this tree. Begin to really envision yourself firmly grounded, rooted even, resting next to this tree. Sense yourself sitting, growing taller and taller with each inhale. Maybe you see the sun shining high and bright in the sky above your tree. And as the springtime sun kisses your face, can you imagine the beautiful, warm, bright sunlight extending down your extremities, like the branches and newly budding leaves of the tree? The sun, like your spirit, your inner being that knows exactly who you are at your core and loves you wholly. As you feel this love from your spirit beaming down on your face, Allow this love in. Feel it absorbing into your skin as it flows deep into your torso, filling you up. We turn away from the sun as we begin to turn our attention to the sky itself. Imagining the beautiful blue sky all around you. Here you are resting under this amazingly magnificent tree, standing ever so tall in this beautiful, lush, natural environment. Completely alone in your thoughts. In this amazingly peaceful and tranquil place. The sky is like your mind. As you work to quiet your mind, you can imagine your thoughts are like the clouds. They may be scattered throughout your blue sky. You may see them here or there, barely at all. Big, beautiful, puffy clouds of big, beautiful, puffy thoughts that filter in and out of your mind. Do your best to try to envision your blue sky clearing. The thoughts are there, but the goal is to imagine floating around them right now. If you have something heavy weighing on your mind, those clouds might be a little darker, a little heavier. It's okay to see those clouds too. You can work your way around them as well. Imagine yourself floating around or even above them until you reconnect with your spring sunshine. Visualize the clouds literally parting for you as the sun shines through once more. The sun nourishing you and the strong, beautiful tree. Appreciating this moment. Appreciating how grounded and centered you might be feeling. Knowing that the sun and rain have made you and this tree who you are today. You become stronger each and every day because the sun is always shining and storm clouds fuel your desire for more. You need rain to survive, just like the tree. You still stand tall and strong, without judgment of any of the trees beside you. You are unique and as beautiful in your own way. Your branches and roots are like no others. You are strong. You are healthy. You are grounded. And you are oh so vibrant. Take the deepest breath of our day so far. As we start to let the tree fade from our mind, We come back into the stillness, the space that surrounds us. We'll take a moment to check in with our body. And then as we're ready, wiggle your fingers and toes. Start to flutter your eyes open. And in your own time, in your own way, start to come up to an upright position facing me. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great week ahead of you and that you can find time for a little bit of stillness in each day. Thank you.